Good evening. On behalf of the MRC 91 repeater, I'd like to welcome you all to Wednesday Night Elmer Net. My name is Jim, Kilo Tango 9 Golf, and I'm located in Waukesha, and I'll be acting as your net control operator for tonight's net. Licensed amateurs, technician class or higher, are encouraged to check in either with or without traffic. Before we start tonight's net, however, if you should have an emergency during this net, please let us know and we will stop to handle your emergency. Traffic for this net means questions, comments, or discussion related to amateur radio. Whether you're a newly licensed ham looking for guidance on your first setup, an experienced operator with technical questions, or someone curious about exploring new modes or equipment, this is the place to ask. Our community is here to help each other grow in the hobby, share knowledge, and foster the true ham spirit of mentorship. So don't be shy. Ask away. If you have anything that you're looking to buy, sell, or trade, we suggest you check out the MRC 91 repeater Sunday nights directly after the Sunday night announcement net for the Sunday night swap net, where that type of traffic is encouraged. All right, getting started. Check-ins are in alphabetical segments based on the first letter following the numeral in your call sign. For example, my call sign is Kilo Tango 9 Golf, so I would use golf. Mobile stations may ignore the roll call segments and check in at any time when it is safe to do so. During check-ins, please respond with your call sign slowly and in standard phonetic, along with your first name and whether or not you have any traffic. Again, my name is Jim, Kilo Tango 9 Golf, your net control operator for this evening. We'll go ahead and begin check-ins with any mobile or short-time stations. Mobile or short-time stations, go ahead. Coming up, please. All right, hearing none, let's go ahead and do the first segment here of A Alpha through K Kilo. A Alpha through K Kilo. Go ahead. Coming up, please.
Kilo Alpha Niner Juliet Bravo Delta Mike and Muskego.
All right, KA9JBD, Mike, got you on there. Anyone else? A Alpha through K Kilo. Go ahead. Coming up, please. All right, let's do A Alpha through V Victor. A Alpha through V Victor. Go ahead. Coming out, please.
Whiskey 9, Golf Tango Zulu.
W9GTZ, Jim, got you on there. Anyone else? A Alpha through V Victor.
Kilo Alpha 9, Mike Bravo Mike.
KA9MBM, Mike, got you on there. Anyone else? A Alpha through V Victor. All right, let's do A Alpha through Z Zulu. Anybody within the sound of my voice for the Wednesday Night Elmer Net? A Alpha through Z Zulu. Go ahead. Come now, please.
KD9 TGM Mobile on the way home. I'm going to be in the background, Jim.
All right, KD9 TGM Wayne, I got you on the list as checked in and out mobile, and if you wanna jump back in, go ahead. Just throw your call sign back out. Anyone else? A Alpha through Z Zulu. All right, hearing none, we'll go ahead and get started. So, a couple of announcements today. I'm trying my best here. So, like I said, I had a little bit of a late start, but I'm also trying to do two things at once here. So, I am running NetLogger and Ham.Live for this net. This week will be the last week that we use NetLogger. And, well, you know what? Let me put it to you this way. This is the last week I most likely will use Ham or NetLogger, unless Ham.Live really upsets me, which I've been pretty happy with it. There's a couple of things that I'm not happy with, but I think feature requests will solve that. But so I do have NetLogger open now. The only reason it wasn't open earlier was because I was running late. So it is open now. So if you're a natural NetLogger user, you can jump in. I have it open. But I also have Ham.Live up. So if you know how to use that, I have that open. So I'm going to be trying to do both at the same time. if I'm happy with it and how we go with it, I may just move over to it. It's newer. It's stayed up to date. I believe from what I was told, the last time that NetLogger got an update was 2018, so that's been quite a while. Hold on, I need to sneeze real quick. So we're trying something new here. So for tonight's net, I wanted to follow back up on the discussion of Morse code. I have had quite a lot of fun with it. I've actually learned quite a bit recently in terms of practicing. I also went to the candy store the other day, drove up to HRO and bought myself a Vibraplex iambic. I traded in my old bencher for a Vibraplex Deluxe iambic, and I love it very, very much. I also just purchased a iambic paddle for POTA, so one of the little portable ones. That comes in the mail next week, so we'll see how I like that. So I would like to get the take on anybody. We'll kind of keep going with the conversation of CW and how everybody likes it. But apart from that, one of the things that I wanted to ask tonight was, and I think I asked this a while back, was what are you running in your ham shack? What rig and antenna are you running? One of the things that I want to try and do is encourage listeners to jump in and talk about things, and I want to try and encourage new members or newly licensed hams to jump in and get some ideas about things that they can do in their QTH based on what they hear here. So if you have a question, go ahead and throw it out, but let us know what you're running, and do you live in an HOA, and do you have an antenna out there? Are you doing HF? If not, what are you running? Are you doing UHF, VHF? What antenna? What rig do you have and whatnot? So that's the question I have for tonight. So again, we'll keep going on with the conversation of CW, and we will try and set up times to practice. I'm doing it every morning with Mike, who's on net tonight, and maybe we can expand that out. So, all right, that's enough for me. So let's bring it up to the top of the list. KA9JBD, Mike, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. Good evening, all. Mike KA9JBD here in Muskego. My home shack, I run an Yaesu FT710 160 through 6 meter radio, and I have two antennas. I have a ground-mounted vertical, a Hustler. It's now a 5 BTV because I lost the 80 meter portion when it broke, and I haven't replaced it yet. So it's 40, 30, 20, 15, and 10. And then I have a sloper that is actually a purchased item, Chameleon 2 antenna, the old version. Had it for years, and I decided just to put it up to have a second antenna. That I can load up anything from 6 to 160 on because I use an MFJ 974 HB Johnson box type manual tuner. Stand by. In regard to CW, I love CW. I belong to both Straight Key Century Club and CW Fists. Though my code speed is pretty bad, I can probably send with a straight key at 15 words a minute easy, but kind of a mental block thing. I can still probably only copy about 10 words a minute. So back to net KA9JBD.
All right, KA9JBD, KT9G. Well, thanks for the info on your setup there. And then, yeah, I remember you were talking about you were being a member of the Straight Key Club, and I assume when you said Fisters, that's also a Straight Key group. So curious to know if Straight Key is all you do. I'm not gonna lie. The first key I bought was the Bencher ST2, which I thought was an iambic key, but apparently wasn't. But it's still a paddle, but it's not an iambic paddle, so it's not a straight key. But I have an iambic now, and I absolutely love it. I went to Discovery World not long ago, and they had a straight key there, and I tried using it, and I couldn't for the life of me time the dits and dahs manually that you need to do with a straight key to get the computer to recognize what I was saying, and then it's just like, oh. So I don't know. Maybe someday I'll get to it, but I'm learning now, and I'm getting better. I've actually gotten to the point where I'm having fun. I'm having fun with it. Sadly, work's been really taking up a lot of my time, but I have been spending some time studying, so we'll see how it goes. All right, W9GTZ, Jim, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Whiskey 9, Golf Tango Zulu. I'm running on FT991. I'm using a 2-meter J-pole and a 6-meter J-pole. And it's a 2-meter J-pole and a 440 J-pole combined. And then a 6-meter J-pole separate. And end-fed 85-foot long wire. Whiskey 9 Golf Tango Zulu. Back to net control.
All right. Whiskey 9 Golf Tango Zulu, KT9G, net control. All right, yeah, sounds good. And I kind of know about where you live. You've got a little bit of land, so that's fine. Okay. KA9MBM, Mike, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Yeah, KE9MBM, and good evening to everybody on the net. I'm running a ICOM IC7300 for 160 through 10 meters. I have 2 antennas for HF. I also have a Hustler ground-mounted vertical that I use for 160 through 10 meters. And yes, I can get on every single band, 160 through 10 meters, so with that antenna. And if anybody wants to know how I do it, I can tell you. And then I have an off-center fed dipole, a wide range tuner. Then I can tune up on anything 80 through 10. I do CW. I learned CW like 40 years ago when I was originally licensed, and had my code speed up to 15 words a minute solid, and then I had it to 20 at about maybe 80% copy, so years ago, and then I haven't touched it in a while. I'm just getting back into it again. And I can send pretty well with a straight key, and I can use a iambic key or two as well if needed. And I'm practicing with Jim there on the side, so in the mornings on 6 meters. Back to net control. This is KA9MBM.
All right, KA9MBM, KT9G, net control. Yeah, no, our mornings, well, apart from the last 2, which, like I said, I've been really busy, but have been quite fun. So I've been doing some CW practice on 6 meters, and there are some other groups and groups that do practice here locally. I can't remember if they said that they did it on 10 meters or 6 meters. I think they said 10 meters, but I can look into it. So, all right. I think that brings us down to the bottom of the list. Wayne is still mobile. So, is there anybody else out there, A Alpha through Z Zulu, who would like to go ahead and join us for the Wednesday night Elmer Net? Go ahead. Come now, please.
This is Kilo Sierra, Niner, Quebec.
KS9Q, I got you on there. Anyone else? A Alpha through Z Zulu, go ahead. All right, hearing none, I'll go ahead and bring it down to, well, I'll I guess that makes it my turn. So for me, my home QTH radio and antenna setup, I am running an ICOM 7300 for HF, and I am still running my original antenna that I got when I first started, which was the Nelson. I don't even know if they still sell them on eBay anymore, but the Nelson end-fed wires, they had an 80 through 10 wire. It was like $100, and it works really well. It does have a 49-to-1 on it, which, if you do digital modes, you'll realize that toroid heats up real quick sometimes after using it for a while. So I learned doing 50 watts on digital modes like FT8. You can run for a pretty long time before having to deal with it. But if you run 75, which is what they say is the max, you'll start having your SWR creep up on you when that thing gets hot. So 50 is usually pretty good. But since then, I've upgraded and I've gotten a 20-meter double bazooka and a 6-meter double bazooka from Radio Waves in the attic, because those were two of the bands that I really liked playing on. And then for UHF, VHF, I originally started out with an Anytone mobile rig that was running in here, and I think it was a 778. But then I did end up getting a 9700, and I am pretty happy with that. So that's what I run for that. And then I've got a 220 radio as well, that I kind of rag chew on in the mornings, but it was a lot of fun. So before I throw it up to the top, I'll give KS9Q a second. KS9Q, go ahead. Did you just jump in, or did you need a primer on what we're chatting about? Go ahead.
If you want to give me the Cliff Notes version of what we're doing, I think it was supposed to be something about CW, but we'll throw it back to you.
Yeah, KS9Q, KT9G Net Control. So today we were following up on our previous conversation of CW, just letting people talk about it, how they like it, what they've done to learn how to do it, do they use it in their kind of day-to-day, like are you a rag chewer or do you like doing poto with it or whatever. And then if you didn't get a chance to answer last week on it, what was your favorite way to learn it? Apart from that, the question tonight was, what's your base station setup like? What radios do you have? What antennas do you have? And was there? I'll throw this out so everyone listen to this. This is the question I forgot to throw out there. Was there ever something that was set up in your base station that was like an aha gotcha that you had to fix that other people might enjoy learning from? If you had a moment like that, tell that story. That would be really cool. So, KS9Q, go ahead.
Okay, very good. Well, this is KS9Q. My name's Jim, and I have been in the ham radio game since 1976. And so back at that point, we had to learn CW, and so I was given a small book by Amico called Mastering the Morse Code, and the book itself was maybe, 25, 30 pages. It was not very thick, but it took the letters and it broke them into groups, and you learned the letters by groups, and then once you learned the basics of the letters, then one of the techniques that we were taught was to as you were driving around, look at a road sign, take that road sign and translate it into Morse, and just get comfortable with it. And so at that point in time, we only needed 5 words per minute, which is very doable. It takes some practice, but you figure, all of us learned how to talk, all of us learned how to do, how to write and how to read and how to spell, and it's like anything. It just takes repetition and practice. So the station here, I've got an upstairs and a downstairs shack. The upstairs shack, the primary radio is an ICOM 7300. Downstairs is an Yaesu FTDX10. I have an amplifier just in case we need a few extra watts in the tailpipe to make it across the pond. I also do 220 6 meters. That's the station hardware. Some antenna switching equipment so that I can flip antennas around relatively easily. On the roof, I've got a rooftop tower with an MA5B Cushcraft beam on it. On the chimney, we're using a cobweb antenna, which I think is a great antenna. Very simple, and it works very well. One of the aha moments with the original cobweb antenna, I was running digital on 15 meters, and I'm watching the SWR meter, and all of a sudden it just kind of jumped and pegged. What had happened was the PVC insulator at the end of the loop overheated and opened up like a fuse. So learned why the power limits are what they are. Stand by, I'm going to reset. And one thing about power ratings to keep in mind is that there's peak power, there's average power, and whenever they rate something, you want to know what exactly are they rating it for. Does it mean, 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off? Does it mean it can handle it continuously? Does it mean a few seconds before things go crazy? I mean, I work on radar units at work, and I've got one that it puts out 10,000 watts, but and it's the size of, it's not a very big box. It's maybe 13, 15 inches long, but it only puts out that kind of power for a fraction of a microsecond. So you can put all kinds of power in as long as the average power is within tolerance. So anyway, that's enough for this transmission. We'll throw her back to net. This is KS9Q.
Yeah, KS9Q, KT9G, net control. Yeah, no, that's good information, and that's definitely something to keep in mind when you get an antenna. Are they claiming that it's full duty cycle? Are they claiming that it's just peak envelope power, and you don't is it for just a few seconds or whatever? So that's good to keep in mind. So that was something that came up with my Nelson antenna was it really depends on if that toroid's already hot, and there's times where during mid-morning the sun is on that side of the house, that box is already warm. It'll warm up much faster. But like in the winter where it's covered in snow, I might get a little bit more time with it. Not that much. That doesn't make that big of a difference, but yeah, that 49-to-1 will heat up real quick. If I try and do FT8 at 75 watts on it, and I'm making multiple contacts in a row, I'll usually make it upset within the third or fourth contact. So I usually just run at 50 on that one. So, but either way, all right. Thanks for coming in. Good information. All right, we're gonna go ahead and throw it up to the top of the list. Like I said, the thing that I forgot to ask the first go around was, were there any gotchas when you were setting up your base station? Did you learn something interesting about how you were setting your stuff up that you think would be a good story to tell others to hear? So KA9, JBD, Mike, go ahead. Floor is yours.
WI9MRC, repeater.
Yeah, KA9JBD returning. I guess if I had to, I've been living here in Muskego now 35 years, 36 years? Yeah, 36 years. I would have to say that my gotcha or epiphany moment was I didn't really think that much of grounding, and had some problems early on. And since my shack is not conducive to doing a ground really where it's positioned in the house, wound up doing was I wound up running a very long aluminum ground wire from my shack around the corner, around another corner, and clamping it to the where the community well water comes into my house, and that made a huge difference. So grounding, high, high. Okay, when it comes to other stuff, one other rig I have, and that's my camping rig, and hopefully I'll finally, around Memorial Day, we'll have a successful POTA activation when camping up near Crivets. I also have a FT991A that used to be my home rig, but I got the 710 because I really don't do 2 meters or 440, so I have a 991A with a couple of different antennas to go camping with, including a Wolf River Coils antenna, and then I have an end-fed. I also had made a custom tip-up mount for a mast system that I park my pop-up camper on out of aluminum plate and brackets and stuff because I'm a tool maker by trade and I had access to machinery to do it. So I can actually take a 44-foot fiberglass mast if I want, and actually put it on the ground and tilt it up, and have the antenna attached at the top for that. So that's my other radio for remote, portable, field day camping use. Back to net, KA9JBD.
All right, KA9JBD, KT9G, net control. Yeah, grounding. I don't know if I already started to. Yeah, I'll admit it. I am not grounding my station as much as I should. Mostly because I have a really nice office desk, but it's solid wood, and I have really nowhere to ground. I have a couple of green lines for grounding going to a center spot that runs to a ground, but it's kind of a rat nest, and I should really do it better. But I did end up doing that to help cut down on a few problems that I was having with some static in here, mostly because I had this wood desk that was floating, and I was having some problems, especially during the winter when it was nice and dry. So, but yeah, grounding is definitely something to take a look at and do well. Now, I will say I do ground all of my antennas really well, especially the exterior ones. So I have full grounds for that, and then lightning arresters for one of the coax. I need to do it for the other ones. I've been a little bit lazy on that, but that's a good call out. All right, W9GTZ, Jim, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Whiskey 9 and Golf Tango Zulu. I think if I've had any one major aha moment with this FT991 was loading Win for Yazoo onto my computer screen. I originally actually put it on to get a better spectroscope, and then I found out that you have to download some other things to do that, and I did. But what I got for a bonus that was this Win for Yasu made this transceiver so much easier to operate. It just was incredible how much faster I learned to use this thing when everything is right there in one screen. You don't have to scroll through any buttons. All the settings are there. It made it remarkably easier, and I would recommend to anybody that's trying to learn an FT991 to spend the $60, I think it is, and download Win for Yazoo. It just made life so much simpler to operate this transceiver on my computer screen. Whiskey 9 Golf Tango Zulu, back to net control.
All right, yeah, W9GTZ, KT9G, net control. So I can't speak to that. I don't have any Yazoo device. I'm an ICOM fanboy, apparently. Not that I am. That happened to be that's the equipment I have. I think what's funny is that I recommend the 991 Alpha to everyone that asks for a all-in-one rig for like really getting started, and like, hey, I got my General, what should I get? And I usually say, hey, get the 991 Alpha. I don't have one, but I've played with it. I really like it. I just don't have one. But if I was gonna build a tough box with a radio for bugging out, I might throw a 991 Alpha in it. I like my G90, but I like the 991 Alpha for its for a lot of other reasons. But Jim, before I pass it on, I have to ask you: did you set up an account on ham.live? Go ahead.
No, I have not. I have not done it, Jim.
Okay. All right. No, the only reason I asked was because when I threw you in on the list, you were the only person that popped up with a photo icon of their letter. Everyone else had the default icon, so I wasn't sure if that was just a happy accident or I don't know what that was. So, anyway, all right, KA9MBM, Mike, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Okay, sounds good. K9MBM. Well, let's see. Well, one thing that happened to me, I also own a ICOM IC9700, which I'm using right now at this moment, was that when I got the radio, I was having some weird things going on with it, and I could not, it was like an echo, and I could not figure out what was wrong with it. I also owned the 7300, and I never had an issue with that with the 7300. Well, I found out when I turned the radio on, by default, the monitor button was turned on. And that gives, like, whenever you transmit, it comes through the speaker as well. And it was really, I guess it's for satellites you want to use it for or something. I'm not quite sure. I've worked satellites. I never had a use for it, so I have no idea why it's there. But it took me the longest time to try to figure out what was going on and what the setting was to turn it off. So, but I was able to figure it out. Let's see, I got, and I also have, I do work 6 meters. I have a 6 meter dipole and a vertical for six meters that I can use with the 7300, and then I have a set of egg beaters for 2 meters and 70 centimeters for satellite work and single sideband. It works good for that, and that's what I'm talking right now is on the 2 meter egg beater. So, and then a 23 centimeter beam. Back to net control. KT9G, K9MBM.
All right, yeah, KA9MBM, KT9G. No, I can imagine that would be confusing. I think I've turned that on once before, and I was super confused by it, and now I can't even remember where the button was. But I think I know what you're talking about. So, that's a good call out. All right, KS9Q, Jim, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Okay, very good. KS9Q returning. Yeah, as far as grounding is concerned, one of the things that I found out just from kind of working through it, my station is located right by the electrical service entrance. So my station ground consists of a copper bar. Everything's connected to that. Number 6 wire running to the, basically tapping into the safety ground of the electrical entrance, and then that goes out to 2 ground rods and to the copper supply line for the water. Now, not all houses have copper pipes, but in this case, this house was built in '67, so we still got copper. And safety ground's primary purpose is to conduct an accidental contact with any kind of supply voltage from the chassis to ground, so that you don't end up with a hot chassis and a shock hazard. Now, from an RF perspective, length and conductors matter a little bit more, because RF travels along the surface of a conductor and not through it. So you can have it as thick as you want, but even a thick conductor is only going to do so much in terms of an RF ground. What works really well for RF grounds is actually copper strips. The other thing is talking about length, because a ground, the distance from the radio to the ground can become a significant part of a wave. In some cases, the ground can be a certain length and actually act like a resistor at RF. But there's more to it than I can cover in just one transmission. But the idea with grounds is keep them short, direct, and if you have multiple rods outside, I actually have that, and I ended up bonding them all together with a number 6 running the length of the house, just wherever there was a rod, so that everything is at the same point. Back to net. This is KS9Q.
All right, KS9Q, KT9G, net control. All right, yeah, sounds good. No, yeah, that's good. That's good. So, okay, so that brings us to the bottom of the list, and okay, so Jim, W9GTZ, you just jumped on NetLogger, so I see you logged in there. You may see my note here that, yeah, this will be the last week that we use that. So, again, I am sorry for changing everything. I know people don't like new stuff, but I thought we'd give it a try. So we're gonna go ahead and try and move over. So I don't wanna spend too much time on the net talking about ham.live. So what I'm gonna do now is let me go ahead and do a check-in. Is there anybody else out there, A Alpha through Z Zulu, who'd like to go ahead and join us for the Wednesday Night Elmer Net? Go ahead, come now, please.
KT9 TGM.
All right, KT9 TGM. Hold on, let me see if I can figure out how to use ham.live here. So I had you checked in, checked out. So KT9 TJM. Okay, now I got you checked in. All right, hold on. So I got you on there. Anyone else? A Alpha through Z Zulu want to join us for the Wednesday Night Elmer Net? Go ahead, come out, please. Alrighty, hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Wayne here. Wayne, have you... I assume you've been listening, but I don't know if you've been kind of dipping in and out. So go ahead, floor is yours.
Yeah, I was dipping in and out. I unhooked that radio that I was having problems with Saturday morning when we were all talking. Then I was rocking the bell thing, and yeah, that darn thing really don't work that good either on the way home. So I didn't really hear what was all going on tonight. So yeah, just give me a synopsis, Jim. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure. So tonight we were talking a little bit about Morse code training, and your experience with Morse code, if that was something you were doing. That was brought over from last week and the week before. But the main topic today was what I called a shack talk about, or I didn't call it that during this net, but that's what's on my notes, and I just said it for the first time. But a shack talk about. So, kind of describe your current setup, and the second piece was, did you have any aha moments with it, where while you were setting up your stuff, did you learn something new that you thought might be unique that you would like to share with the community? So go ahead. That's the topic. Floor's yours.
Thanks, K292 Jim. Yeah, no real big ahas, but I'll start with the CW stuff first. Yeah, I mean, again, maybe one day I'll get into it. I've talked about that before. It's the time to sit up there to try to do it, and especially now because, my work situation, I'm going to be at another job. I just don't know when the heck I'm starting it. Yeah, so that's why, I'm at home now. So, excuse me. So, yeah, shack-wise, yeah, the only thing I got over here, I got my Yaesu FT710, sitting over here with my vertical. And, I got the radio that I did have in the truck, but I got my Anytone 578, that, again, I had in the truck for a while. And right now I just got my G90 just kind of sitting here. But yeah, I mean, I just got basic over here. I got coax going out the window, and, one antenna sitting on one of the laundry poles and another antenna sitting on another laundry pole. Yeah, the only thing I don't got, which, I should do and I need to do eventually, is, basically get some radios for my vertical, because I got that, the 4-trap antenna, the 4-band trap vertical. So, yeah. But other than that, RFI-wise, kind of, sort of, sometimes. It all depends. But it get pretty quiet over here sometimes. It's just the area that I'm in, too. So, K292GM, back to net.
Yeah, KD9TGM, KT9G, net control. No, sounds good. I mean, yeah, no, that's fine. So I think that brings us to the bottom of the list. So one of the things that I wanted to mention was kind of what my setup was when I first started, and I was kind of hoping to get someone on the net tonight to make a mention about something really minimalistic, just to kind of encourage those that are just getting started that you don't need a lot to get on these repeaters and join the nets. I do know that there is someone that has joined our nets from Baofeng, and I think since then he's gotten a mobile radio. But I do know that my first base station was an Anytone 778 UV with a mag mount mobile antenna on a cookie sheet. Actually, I didn't even have a cookie sheet. I just had a mobile antenna sitting on top of my desk. And the 991 repeater was actually really good, and I was able to hit it really well. And then I did eventually upgrade to a Diamond X50, but I was still running the 778 UV, and that one was beautiful. And then I had a friend who didn't have a UV system, but he had his extra license. He was a really big POTA HF guy, didn't have a UHF VHF system, and he got laid off from his job, and I gave it to him, and I was just like, here, you can have my my 778 and my Diamond X50, and got him on the air and for repeaters, and I'm glad I did. But since then I upgraded, but you don't need a lot to get on repeaters. That's absolutely sure. So I was kind of hoping to hear a little bit more of that, but I mean, I'll bring this question up again in the future for sure. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and break, and then what I'll do is there anybody else out there, A Alpha 3 Z Zulu, who would like to go ahead and join us for the last round of the Wednesday night Elmer Net? Go ahead, come now, please.
K9VFT, Vince.
K9 VFP, Vince, I got you on there. Anyone else? A Alpha 3Z Zulu, go ahead. Come now, please.
Whiskey 9 Delta Julia Papa.
Yeah, last call station, just to confirm, that was Whiskey 9 Delta Juliet Papa?
QSL.
All right, I got you on there. Anyone else? A Alpha 3Z Zulu for the Wednesday night Elmer Net. Go ahead, come now, please. All right, hearing none. We are 10 minutes to the top of the hour, so what I will do is I'll go ahead and hand it to Vince and David here. Just to give a little bit of summary, just in case you guys weren't here, the topic tonight was we were carrying over a little bit from the last few weeks of talking about CW, learning it, using it. So if you have any comments on if you've done anything with it in the last few weeks, or if you have any pointers on how to learn it, you can mention that. Otherwise, the main topic tonight was let us know about your QTH station. What are you running at home? And then while you were setting up, did you have any aha moments or any interesting situations that you had to kind of fix on your own that you thought might be interesting to share with the group? So that's what we're talking about. So Vince, K9 VFP, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Okay, K9 VFP here. Well, I came home from HRO, having gotten my general class ticket, and I ordered a UV5X3 on Amazon, and that's how I ended up on the 9.1. As far as I have since upgraded, and that's my handy-talkie. My home station is a 7300 and a XDR 400 for UHF, VHF. But one of the things I want to talk about is antennas for the handy-talkies. I think you have to invest in a good antenna, a Diamond, a Nagoya, whatever, but if you read up, you'll find that there are lots of them out there, and unless you've got a megabuck handy-talkie, the first thing you do is throw away the antenna and get a good aftermarket antenna, because it makes a huge difference. With that 5-watt UV5X3, I can hit the 9.1 and the 5.13 without any real trouble. And I even had it on a maggot mount on a sheet on a maggot mount and filing cabinet. I did that for a little while till I moved on to the better radios. K9 VFP, back to net.
Yeah, K9 VFP, KT9G net control. So that's a good call out. So I usually swap mine out. The only HT that I didn't, well, I did it with, and then I ended up going back, was the Kenwood. I got the Kenwood THD75. The original antenna that it came with, I actually put it back on, mostly because the aftermarket one that I bought broke, and I was a little sad about it. So I'm back to using the one that it came with. But the one that it came with is actually really good. But no, that's a good call out. And like I said, well, I mentioned earlier was I have had a couple of people call in to this net on HTs from pretty far away, and I think one of them had a little coax running to a mobile antenna off the HT. So and they came in real good. So, but yes, swapping out antennas is great. So. All right, W9DJP, Dave, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Whiskey 9 Delta Julia Papa, Dave. Hey, I might be a little long-winded, but we'll go quick. I started my days off with a Kenwood TS2000 in the days when Warren was still around, He helped me, Elmer, into learning how to use it on HF, VHF, and UHF everything. And then when I sent it in for repairs, I got an ICOM 7100, which I've still got in my shack. I also have an ICOM 7300, and currently right now I'm talking on a FTM 400 Yaesu, which I took out of my work truck, and I use for getting onto the Wires X repeater in Milwaukee, but I also run an FT2, FT3 HTs with, what kind we got? We got a Diamond SRH 77CA, which I can hit the 9-1 with that. And I also run my FT3 off my laptop and the internet at home to get into wires. So that's in a nutshell what I got focusing here. This is Whiskey 9, Delta Julia Papa, back to net control.
Oh, yeah, Whiskey 9, Delta Julia Papa, KT9G. No, that's great. And actually what's really funny was you were talking about being able to kind of remotely, I think you were mentioning that you were able to kind of remotely manage one of your radios. And I was talking to someone on JS8 like a week ago and said he was at work and that he was remoting into his home computer so that he could manage his 7300 from home so that he could message people. So there's all sorts of crazy things you can do, but no, that's great information, and thanks for that. So that brings us down to the bottom list, and we are 5 to the top of the hour, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do is start the 73 round. And, oh, did I do that? Wayne, KD9 TGM, did you log into ham.live and raise your hand? Go ahead.
No, I'm just clicking things.
All right, well, you learned how to raise your hand. So that's exactly what raising your hand does. If you click on your icon, it'll raise a hand. It'll show the net logger or the net control that your hand is raised, and I'll bring it over to you. And then I can lower your hand for you. So, but I see a green dot. I see a green dot for you. That means that you're online. So hopefully over the next few weeks we'll kind of get used to this. I know that it's new, so but I'm liking it. There's a couple of things that I am not happy with. I missed the pink line. I don't know. I mean, I missed the pink line. But anyway, all right, like I said, we are close to the top of the hour, so I think what I'm going to do is start the 73 round. But before I do, as I promised earlier in the day, for those that were listening to the repeater, I have homework for everybody. And this next week's homework, for those that are interested, obviously you don't have to do your homework, but you'll sit in the back of the class if you don't do it. I'm just kidding. Is what I came up with called the Signal Report Challenge. And this is related to the topic that I brought up today of your home station, your QTA station, when it comes specifically to UHF, VHF, not HF. My question and homework to everybody is, I want everyone to go out with their base station and try and make a contact with a repeater within the state, maybe even without the out of the state. The furthest repeater that you can make make a contact, and then come back and tell us how far you made it. So if you make a contact on a repeater, go to repeater book, find one further away, try that one. If you can't make it, try one closer. See what you can do. Come back next week. Let us know how well your QTH did for UHF, VHF. Because we're talking about repeaters here. So I've been really curious with that. The reason I bring this up was one of the things that I did was one of the most recent upgrades that I made to my base to my station was I put my UHF VH antenna outside with a GP95. I put it up on my chimney, and I'm able to make like the Plymouth repeater loud and clear, and I can talk to those guys easily. Lakeshore. I think one in. Hold on, let me reset real quick.
WI9MRC repeater.
I can't remember Fond du Lac or some. Anyway, Plymouth I think was one of the longest ones geographically for me, and I wasn't able to hit them before, but I could hit them now. So that was my homework. Go out, see if you can make a contact on a repeater that's really far away from you. Come back next week. Let me know how far you made it. All right. So with that, we'll go ahead and start our 73 round. KA9JBD. Michael, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Yeah, KT9GM and that K9JBD. Thanks for a great net, Jim. And enlightening as always. A lot of good discussion here. So 73s to all, KA9JBD. Clear QRT back to net.
All right, KA9JBD, KT9G, net control. 73s. Have a great night. I will mark you as checked. Oh, I'm getting used to this new thing here. Right-clicking just drops them out. All right, W9GTZ. Jim, go ahead. Floor is yours. 73 round.
W9GTZ. Jim, I'm trying to log into Ham Live. I can get into Ham Live. I put my email in, and then I can go to attend net. And when I click on the Elmer net, it takes me right back to sign in. I sign in again and hit enter. And it says mail sent. And I go through the same thing. It won't let me sign in. What am I doing wrong?
Hey, let's chat after this. That's a problem that I had. There's a little bit of a weirdness with the way that they do logins. But after I close the net out, I will leave the ham.live net open, and we'll figure it out. But once we do the 73 round, I'll stop recording so that I can make sure this gets uploaded. But let's chat after the net, because I want to figure that out, because I want to troubleshoot with you, because I want to be able to answer that question more clearly, because I remember I struggled with that for a while, and it's kind of something to do with how it's set up. It's really weird. So let me say 73s to you for now. We'll pick it up. I'll call you right after the net. KA9MBM, Mike, go ahead. Floor is yours.
Okay. I know. I wanted to tell everybody in the net that, speaking of CW, Jim bought himself that Fiberplex iambic here. Well, I bought myself a Fiberplex Deluxe straight key. I always wanted a really nice straight key, so I went out and bought myself one. I figure after 40-some years, I might as well have a nice key. So anyway, and then real quick, grounding is important. For me, I made sure all my antennas were grounded on the outside. There's an 8-foot ground rod that the antennas go to, and then my ground-mounted vertical and my receive antenna, I run those through a lightning arrestor that is attached to an 8-foot ground rod before it comes into the house. So mainly for to get rid of noise. The noise in the neighborhood with people's swimming pool heaters and other things that are going on. It just seems like the noise level went up a few years ago and in the area, and I was able to bring the noise down just by grounding on 160 meters. I brought it down from S9 to Yeah, it's about S9 there. I think on 80 meters I brought it down from like an S9 to an S4, so, but on 160 meters it's still an S9, but you're going to get that with 160 meters. And then, yeah, as far as antennas on HT radios, a lot of those antennas aren't designed, those rubber ducks are produced for the frequencies that are outside the ham band, so you're not going to get optimum SWR and receive capability off of them. That's why they're not that great. Okay, I'm going to wind it up here. 73s to everybody on the net, and Jim, we'll talk to you tomorrow morning, and the other Jim there, KS9Q, will talk to you in the morning as well. K9MB, I'm back to net control. 73s, everyone.
K9 MBM, KT9G, net control. 73s, have a great night, and yeah, we'll chat in the morning. Yeah, we'll chat in the morning. So, Karen, KC9WQJ, she popped into Ham.Live and threw her hand up. Karen, go ahead. Comment?
Yes. I just got home, and I was just listening for a couple minutes, and so I decided to try Ham Live, and since you had talked to Jim about putting your hand up, I said, I'm going to let him know I'm here. So I just want to thank you because I missed your whole net, but I'm going to get to listen to it in the morning, and that's fabulous. So thank you for that. I love the homework assignment, and I look forward to being on the net with you next week. That's it for me. 73 KC9WQJ.
All right, KC9WQJ, KT9G, net control. 73s, I got you checked out. All right, that brings us up to KS9Q. Jim, go ahead. Floor is yours. 73 round.
Okay, very good. This is KS9Q, and yeah, I had neglected to mention the lightning static protection of aspect of grounding, but antennas can and do build up a static charge on them, and the grounding system helps conduct that to ground. Now, a direct hit, you should see the grounding system we got at the control tower. I mean, that's got some very big conductors and big copper ground bars, and it's designed to take a direct hit. Most ham stations, you're going to have some damage, but we like to try to discourage lightning from hitting us as much as possible in whatever way we can do that. We'll say 7-3 to the net. It's been a pleasure, and you guys have a great night. Back to net. This is KS9Q.
All right, KS9Q, KT9G, net control. 73s, have a great night. Got you marked as checked out. All right, KD9 TGM, Wayne, go ahead. Floor is yours.
All right, thanks, Jim. Yeah, I'll make this quick, because I know it's a 73 round. I was going to try to say, because I wish I could have joined earlier, but I couldn't. Yeah, real quickly. I've got a guy that I'm currently working with, again, and I'll still be in contact with them, after, I leave this job and go to my other one. Yeah, he's going to wind up getting his ticket, at least for tech. He's shooting for the end of the month over at HRO, so I said congrats to him. Yeah, he's really into it. A seed topic that we could probably touch on, on another net, down the road, especially when I'm able to be on, is export radios. And I'm talking about specifically, 10-meter radios. Let's just leave it at that. Because, yeah, he was questioning me on it, and he had one, and he turned around and got the same type of 10-meter radio that I have in my truck. You guys know why I'm coughing. It's kind of one of them deep dive topics that I know some people might know, some people might not. It kind of tails in on the conversation we were trying to have Saturday morning. And again, I apologize for that radio. I really had wanted to get into that conversation a little bit better, but we can leave that for another time, another net, or another, 9-1 after the dark. No discussion. But all right, 73s to all. KD9 TGM.
Sorry, I'm here. My foot pedal was broken. I got it. Am I doubling with anybody? I thought I heard someone key in there for a second. No, okay. KD9 TGM Wayne, I got you checked out. Sorry, I went to hit my foot pedal and something weird happened and my radio wasn't picking up. So, all right, 73s. Have a great night. All right, K9 VFP Vince, go ahead. Floor is yours. 73 round.
K9 VFP. Yep, definitely a good net. A lot of good topics. I myself am interested in that export radio topic. I think it is a more appropriate topic for 9-1 After Dark. As far as the handy talkies and the antennas and everything else, I think there's an awful lot of people out there that don't get the difference between a $20 Bofang and a $400 Yaesu as handy talkies, even though they look about the same, to understand the performance and the expectation, and also what happens as the battery goes down. But I think we're all very lucky with the 9-1. It has an excellent coverage area. And in addition to your little homework assignment, how far can you go? To anybody that goes far and wide, how far do you have to go before you can't hit the 9-1, or what's the furthest you've ever hit the 9-1 from? Myself, I've hit the 9-1 from Carpentersville, Illinois, at the top of a hill. So, K9 BFP, 73 to all, and to all a good night. Back to net.
K9 VFB, KT9G, net control, 73s. Have a great night. And that's a good, that's a good one. Every once in a while, family and I will go down to Gurney Mills to Great Wolf Lodge for the kid for the, for his birthday or something. And I usually like to try and check my truck and see if I can hit the 9-1. I can usually hit the 9-1 if I'm up on some ridge line. I do know that I've hit the 9-1 from Beloit too. I've done that once before. There may have been ducting involved or whatever. I've only been able to do it once. But I do know that there are some people down in Janesville area that can normally hit the 9-1 repeater, which is actually really impressive. But that's a good one too. How far away can you get from the 9-1 and still make contact on the 9-1? But go ahead and try other repeaters. My big thing is go to Repeater Book, find repeaters in our area, especially ones that you've never called before. Call them up, see if you can activate them, see if you can get someone on it, and make a contact on it, and try and go as far as you can. I thought that would be a really fun thing. I do know that when I got my antenna up outside, that was what I did, and I had a lot of fun with it. And now I feel kind of bad because I made contact on the Plymouth repeater, and that was the last time I did it. I should call those guys again because they asked me to join their nets, and I was just like, oh yeah, and then I got busy and I didn't, and that shame on me. But I hardly get to join our own nets, so we'll see. All right, W9 DJP. Dave, go ahead. Floor is yours. 73 round.
Whiskey 9 Delta Julia Papa. Thanks for that, Jim. Yeah, it was an interesting net, even though I just caught bits of it. I normally don't do these. I usually do HF stuff. But hey, question for you is on this logging program you're using. What is it called? I tried doing Net Live and Net Log, and nothing works. So if you could just give that out real quick so I can write it down. And other than that, it was an informative net. I will try to make it next week. This is Whiskey 9 Delta Julia. Back to net control.
Yeah. Whiskey 9 Delta Juliet. I have your call sign as Whiskey 9 Delta Juliet Papa. Is it Whiskey 9 Delta Juliet or Whiskey 9 Delta Juliet Papa? Go ahead.
Whiskey 9 Delta Juliet Papa. I dropped the key too soon.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So we were originally using NetLogger, which if you do OMIS or the YL Nets or all those guys, that's kind of what the standard was for nets. It's called ham.live, and it's called ham.live because if you just go to your browser and type in ham.live, you'll go right to it. It's all web-based now. I like it. I don't know. I got a couple of things that I would like to see added that are missing. I don't know. I need to play with it still. This is the first week that I've used it. I think I said it before. I said I missed the pink line. Just so I know where everyone's at. I've been using the gray line, what I call it now. But it's called ham.live. And it uses email login and whatnot. It's a little bit weird. So, like I said, I'm gonna chat with Jim after this, W9GTZ, on how to make sure he logs in. I just want to close the net out and get the recording stopped, and then we'll chat about it a bit more and go from there. So, but yes, ham.live. So that's what it is. All right, 73s. Have a great night. Okay, so with that, is there anybody else out there, A Alpha through Z Zulu, would like to go ahead and jump in for any late check-ins on the Wednesday night Elmernet? Go ahead, come now, please.
KD9 PML.
K9 UDS.
All right, I got KD9 PML, Michael, right? And then the call station that came after that. What was your call again? Go ahead.
Kilo 9 Uniform Delta Sierra, Tony.
All right, KD9. Well, is there anyone else? A Alpha through Z Zulu with any late check-ins? Go ahead, come now, please. All right, hearing none. KD9 PML or K9 UDS. Did either of you have traffic for late check-ins or just check in and out? Go ahead.
PML traffic.
K9 UDS traffic.
All right, easy enough. All right, KD9 PML. Mike, go ahead. Floor is yours. Traffic, go ahead.
All right, thank you, Jim. KD9 PML, Mike in Heartland. Actually, it's just a question. POTA. Is there a thing set up anytime this month or coming up that we're going to do a Club POTA activation? Back to net control, KD9 PML.
Oh, yeah, KD9 PML, KT9G, net control. Yes, I do want to do it. I have been getting slammed with work, and so next week I have training Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I don't want to do something this weekend because it's too fast, but hold on. Where's my line? Okay. So, well, actually, this weekend might work. 10th or 11th versus 17th or 18th. You know what? Thank you for saying something. We definitely need to. I've got everything I need set up, ready to go, and the weather is beautiful. So let us plan for the 17th 17th or 18th. I will make an announcement. It's going to be not this next weekend, but the weekend after. We'll do an activation either at Ottawa Lake or we'll do it somewhere. Maybe in the Milwaukee area. Now I can't remember what the one that's over by HRO. That park up there. Yes, not this weekend, but next. Let's plan for it. I will keep you posted. I'll look you up and let you know. Okay. All right. K9 UDS. Tony, go ahead. Floor is yours.
All right. I'm on a different net early on here, but I did catch the end of your net. I do like your net that you do. I try to get into it as early as I can. This week it didn't work out too well, but the HT antennas, I agree a lot on that. I usually get a nice diamond antenna and put it on my HTs. Always helps out. And NetLogger, I have issues with NetLogger. All it does is come up on the net screen. I can't get the monitor screen to come up, no matter what I do, closing it, reopening it, whatever. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. But this new one that you're talking about, I'm interested. Does that only work on the UHF, VHF, or is that also for HF? I'm wondering. K9 UDS.
Yeah, KD9 or K9 UDS, KT9G Net Control. It works for everything that you could imagine. I mean, HF, UHF, VHF, SHF, SSHF, SSSSH, SVHF. So you get to program your nets for whatever you want. The thing that I really like about it is it's completely web-based. So all you have to do is have a web browser. You can log in. You don't have to install software like you did with NetLogger. There's a couple of things as I've been playing with it tonight. I've played with it before, but as I've been playing with it tonight, actually running this net, as far as controlling the net, I'm very happy with it. The only thing that I miss is the individual statuses that you can set per person. So let's say a person isn't responding. I can't set a specific status for them saying, hey, I didn't hear them, or hey, they're not responding, or hey, they're unavailable right now, or whatever. So that's the only thing that's missing from this. Everything else is beautiful. The chat's really good. It's completely web-based. The command system's a bit more CLI, which is I'm used to, so I'm happy with it. Fine. That's kind of what I do for my day-to-day work, so I'm happy with it. But it's ham.live. Just check it out, and then we'll go from there. Okay, and then KD9 PML POTA 17th to the 18th. We'll figure it out. I will send you a message, and we'll get it going. I will have an official date and time by next Wednesday's net for you. I will try and let you know before that, and we'll work on it. So, all right, KD9 UDS. I think we're 23 past the hour, so I think that was the 73 round. So I got everyone else checked out. Is there anyone else out there, A Alpha through Z Zulu, with any late check-ins or last-minute business? Go ahead, come up, please. All right, hearing none, I'm going to say thank you all for joining, and I'm really glad that everyone got to come in tonight. And reminder, this week's homework is how far can you make, and Vince made a good point, how far away from the 9-1 can you make the 9-1, or from your QTH, how far out can you make a contact from a repeater? So next week, come back, let me know. Next week's topic is first contact stories. Come ready to tell us about your first contact or first most memorable contact, whether it be CW or single sideband or FM. Even if you got a technician's license and you had your HT and you jumped on a repeater and you just had a really good time chatting with someone, your first contact, tell us about that story. I'm really interested in hearing that. So that's next week's topic. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and ask one more time. Is there anybody else out there, A Alpha through Z Zulu, with any late check-ins or last-minute business? Go ahead. Come now, please. All right, hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and secure this net at 9:25 p.m. And as always, thank you all for participating, and a reminder that this net, along with most other nets here on the 9-1 repeater, welcome new operators to experience net control operations by trying a net or two. If you wish to try acting as net control operator, please contact our club president, Karen, KC9WQJ, to participate. All the net scripts are on the club website for you to review. At this point, I will now return the repeater to normal amateur use. Again, my name is Jim, Kilo Tango 9 Golf, 73s to all, and to all, a great night.